Don't store your coffee, preserve your coffee. That's what we're going to be telling you about today on FrenchPressCoffee.com, and we're going to do that by telling you about the AirScape kitchen canisters from Planetary Design. First thing to remember is that there are three major enemies of your really great coffee beans that you want to be keeping fresh. And that is air or oxygen, humidity, and light. And so the AirScape kitchen canister is going to solve all of those problems in a few different ways. First of all, going to the latter, which is light, these specific canisters are made of stainless steel, so there's no light that's going to make its way in, and that is going to protect your coffee beans. So that's one problem solved. That stainless steel, by the way, is also going to make sure that it's not going to impart any flavor onto your beans. You're not going to get plastic flavor or anything weird like that. So that's very important. That's a little added bonus. Second thing is going to be humidity and oxygen. So what happens typically when you close most kitchen canisters with just a simple lid is that you simply lock in oxygen, air, and potentially humidity inside of that canister, and that is going to seep into whatever it is that is in there, in this case coffee beans, and they're going to go stale, or they're going to go stale much faster. They're going to oxidize, that oxygen is going to eat away, and it's going to dry them out, and it's going to make your beans stale. And there's nothing worse than stale coffee beans. So that's what most kitchen canisters do, is they just have that one lid with maybe a seal on it. The AirScape kitchen canister takes it to the next level, and it does that by making use of this little piece of magic, which is the second inner lid. Now this lid has a valve on it. That valve, when you are holding it by this handle and pressing down with that handle pushed up, is going to allow air, that's the sound, to escape and be pushed out from inside of the canister. And then when you lock that down, you close that seal, which means that you're not going to get air seeping down and in past that valve, hopefully, and you're also not going to have to worry about CO2 off-gassing from whatever it is that you have inside of the canister. Some folks have kind of brought that up about CO2. It's not really something that you necessarily need to worry about, specifically when you're using something like this, where you literally press out all of the air, everything that is inside the canister. You can actually see, I'll mention this real quickly, there is a lock on the handle. And what this means is that when you have that handle pushed down, you've locked it and you've more accurately completed that seal, which means that it's going to be a lot harder to pull that up or push it down. That handle needs to be up in order for the air to be pushed out. Then you finish off that seal by making use of the clear lid with that silicone ring on it, which is going to finish that seal and make sure that nothing is going to get in there. So this is going to resolve those three major issues, which again, remember, is going to be air, humidity, and light. Let's talk about the materials in the AirScape kitchen canisters. As I did mention earlier, the ones that I have here are stainless steel. And again, that is great because that means you're not going to impart flavor of the actual canister onto the contents. I really don't like coffee that tastes like it's been in plastic or anything like that. It's not enjoyable, and once it tastes like that, it's always pretty much going to taste like that. The plastics used are BPA free, so that's pretty important. Again, you have your top lid with a silicone ring, and then you have your interior, which also has black silicone or rubber here, and then of course your BPA free plastic. And that keeps the air out. And then on the bottom of the canister, you're going to find that you have a nice big rubber plate, essentially, that's going to make sure that this isn't going to move around very easily. So it's going to make it easy when you are pressing downwards. This isn't going to scoot all over your counter or anything like that. That's a big deal. So when it comes to materials, these are definitely made of high-grade materials, and they're also going to look pretty cool in your at-home coffee shop or in your kitchen or anywhere else. Of course, looking cool also means being able to choose different colors. As you guys can see, I have a lot of different colors of the AirScape kitchen canisters right here. Over here we've got mocha, red, which I've been showcasing. We have stainless steel if you want to keep it nice and simple. There's also pearl and black. And that's at the making of this video. Of course, those options could change. But you have a lot of different color options that you can choose for to kind of be able to give a little bit of a zing to your kitchen, your at-home coffee shop. And then next up, storage capacity. So what I've got here is the 16 ounce and the 8 ounce version, basically allowing you to store about a pound of coffee or about a half pound of coffee. So if you're an occasional coffee drinker and it's not a big deal for you to just store a little bit of coffee beans, you could go with the smaller canister. I would personally say just go all the way and get the larger canister, because a pound of coffee sounds like a lot, but if you really like to drink coffee, is not actually that much. So I would say go for the one that's going to allow you to store the most coffee, because then, of course, this allows you to buy more coffee and keep it fresh for longer. I think a lot of folks have a tendency to not buy a lot of coffee because they know it's just going to go bad, it's going to get stale, and you don't have to worry about that as much when you keep it in a canister like this. And another cool feature, I think you guys can already see this right here, is that these canisters are stackable. They look cool when they're stacked. And this allows you to be able to not only, of course, keep things organized, it's also going to look cool on your countertop. You don't have to store these away in a cabinet or anything. I would actually keep these out on my countertop, and when people come over and say, wow, what are those? I can tell them, well, it's actually really cool, check it out. And of course, they're going to want this because then they're going to keep their coffee fresh as well. Ease of use and cleaning, there's not really a whole bunch to say here. Planetary Design does say on the packaging that they do recommend hand washing, which makes a lot of sense. I don't think you should toss this into a dishwasher. Then again, I don't think it's going to get very dirty. Ease of use, this is one of the simplest to use kitchen accessories that I've ever seen. Again, pop that lid, pour whatever in here that you want to keep fresh, take your second lid, press down until you're right on top of those coffee beans, close that handle over, put your first lid on, and you're done. So there's really no way that the ease of use could be any easier with this thing either. And how much are the AirScape kitchen canisters by Planetary Design going to set you back? Well, to find pricing, visit FrenchPressCoffee.com. You can find a link right down here in the description or right over here on my left-hand side. And there you have it, guys. That is the AirScape kitchen canisters from Planetary Design. Now, I want to remind you guys to please make sure to subscribe to FrenchPressCoffee.com and make sure to use the new feature here on YouTube right over here. It's going to allow you to be notified when we upload new videos. So if you really want to keep up to date with all the cool stuff that we do here, make sure to follow us and subscribe. And of course, visit us at FrenchPressCoffee.com. Find us on your favorite social media network. And if you guys have questions, comments, or anything else you want to ask me, hit us up and we'll be happy to see what we can do for you.
So did you like that video? If so, go ahead and give us a like. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel. It's okay, I'll wait. Come on. It's all right. Awesome, great. Thank you so much. And now for a great coffee quote. Remember that a yawn is actually just a silent scream for coffee.